Well, he's been called the Guru of Green. He's also been called the Wizard of Wealth. He's the man who makes money work for others in Hollywood, locally, and globally. He's Jim Casey with Integrated Wealth Management. I had to give you all the titles.
What an introduction.
It's like
This is great. The market's up. I get that introduction so far.
He's the king of swing.
Guru of Green. What can't you do,
Love it,
right,
love
Jim?
it, love it.
You know, this week I heard about Lindsey Lohan in trouble with the IRS. We already know about Wesley Snipes in jail. What is going on in Hollywood as far as money?
Yeah, you got a list. Pam Anderson, Kelsey Grammer. I mean, there's, you know, I say it's all the time. Plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you know, there was when Mariah Carey, remember this interview like it was yesterday, was first up and coming. She did an interview in the Oprah show. And Oprah gave her, she goes, before you leave, one word of advice. Always write your own checks. And so if Oprah Winfrey can write her own checks, that's a lot of checks. I think, unfortunately, a lot of times they hire business managers and they don't ask the right questions. They don't get involved in their finances. If you're not involved with your finances, I tell my clients it's all the time. That's why I call you every 3 months so you understand what's going on. You've got to do the planning. You've got to do the budgeting. You've got to make your quarterly tax payments.
Yeah.
You just have to know what's happening. And the other thing I think a lot of times celebrities do is that overnight sensation, they get involved in this grand lifestyle. And Kelsey Grammer is claiming that he can't afford his house anymore because his TV show got canceled. So there really should be a little bit more in the bank before you have that big mortgage. And again, don't misunderstand cash flow from savings.
So write checks and touch base with your money manager.
Yeah, and understand that you've got that little nest egg. No matter if you're making, you know, $10 million a year or $10,000 a year, you've got to have some nest egg somewhere. As hard as it is to save, we can get caught up in the here and now, and unfortunately, one day we turn around, times can get tough.
Now, obviously, celebrities make so much money, and we think, like, how could this happen to them?
Exactly.
Because they have so much money. But there are lessons that we can learn, as you mentioned, from what they're doing. So.
Listen, I think anybody has to look, you know, and people think the word budget is a bad word. No, everyone lives on a budget. It's how much you make versus how much you come in. Last week we were here, we're trying to get America on budget right now because they're in the hole about $13 trillion every year.
Yeah.
That's really not good for us. And if we keep learning on this spending concept, you know, savings is boring. I say that all the time. It's just boring. Was that for me?
No, that was me.
Okay, I'm in a meeting. That's for me. No, I just think you can learn the lessons. That doesn't just have extremist amount of wealth doesn't mean that you have good spending habits and good savings habits. And again, make sure you ask your advisors, your accountants, your attorneys, your financial planners, all the questions. And one other thing, if it doesn't feel right in your gut, don't do it.
Go with the gut.
Very
with the
good
gut,
suggestions.
absolutely.
Appreciate you joining us
My
this
pleasure.
morning. Thank you so much, Jim. And if you
got it.
have a question for Jim, he always has some great advice. Just go to our website, KMIR6.com. We have all the info on how to get in touch with Integrated Wealth Management. Jim, we'll see you back here next week.
See you then.
The Wizard of Wealth. Thank you so much.